As you can see, in December was obviously the 2nd of December. A number of firefighters were killed during a fire out here. The fire started to the north near Snake Valley, and it, under almost a northerly wind, ran down towards Linton. Most of the people that died were from Geelong, so they didn't know the local area, and were down this track when the weather changed, and so the flank of the fire became the head of the fire, and they got caught out and overrun, and unfortunately I think it was, is it 5 people lost their lives?
Yeah, I think it's 5, yeah.
And so there was an inquiry afterwards as to why it happened. And so some of the issues that were raised in that inquiry were around local knowledge and around maintenance of tracks and things like that. And there were ideas about who was in charge and control at different times. We don't come here to put the dampener on just before lunch or anything, but it's important to recognise that the area does have fires which are dangerous for the people who are fighting them. There was an article a number of years ago, and I say it every year, but I regret not keeping it, where a firefighter wrote in the newspaper and said, "Don't call us heroes, we're doing a job." If we go in and do something that you consider heroic, it usually means they're working outside their safety limitations and doing something they shouldn't be doing. That's not always true. There are times that it does happen, but you've got to remember when we're talking about firefighting that the firefighters are out there doing a job and they expect to come home at the end of the day. And this is the very sad consequence of when that doesn't go right. So a lot of the planning is about making sure we set up systems that are safe for people to come and fight fires, or we know where areas that aren't safe, so firefighters aren't going in there and only defending in areas where they're able to return home safely. Unfortunately, we still continue to have a number of deaths associated with fires. Black Summer, there was a number, I think it was around 30 something, 34. And that was scattered over a long period of time, and some fairly tragic stories in there as well, of people getting trapped and all sorts of things. So yeah, when you're considering your plan, one of the things that we've got better at doing is talking about go, no-go areas. For homeowners, this can upset them because their home might be considered a no-go area because it's simply not safe. So one road in that's heavily treed down the sides, definitely not an area you're going to send a fire crew in. It's not worth them making their last stand in front of one house when there's a whole township behind. When the 2013 fires in the Blue Mountains, when I was up there, I was talking to the residents and they said the fire crews, basically the head was walking down going, that house, not that house, not that house, and had people following him down the street saying, "Why aren't you coming into my house? Come back here." And he had to be very objective about it to make sure that his crews were safe. And unfortunately, some of those people lost their houses as they went, but no lives were lost then. So it's a difficult thing that the fire crews have to do, and the more we can do beforehand, the less they have to do on the day and make those decisions, which are challenging.